Hello, where the fuck is my camera? Alright, let's try this again. Nope, it's refusing to connect. Alright, let me try. Hold on. Man, it was working a minute ago. Alright, well, hello everybody. Oh, okay, it started working. Sometimes you have to get physical. You just threaten it like that. And it fixes itself. Cool. Alright. Not entirely sure what I'm gonna do today, to be honest. Neither is Jester. I believe he is going to nap. Looks like he might. Yeah. Yeah, I think he will. It's entirely out of place. Hold on, that should be like there. Alright, is my whole, like, desktop off center? No? Alright, never mind. OBS is tripping, as always. Bye, Jester. He is not going to nap. Or he is, but somewhere else. Okay. Cool. So. um... The marquee thing is very out of date, and I still don't have a better way to update it besides updating the HTML for it. Kind of a pain in the ass, but here it is. Okay, now I definitely messed up my desktop. Alright. So, let me see. Where are we at right now? Technically, haven't done OS dev in a bit. Since Saturday, technically. But, even that was just a little UI stuff. Nothing particularly important. Well, it's still important. It's just not the most important things. I just have the option to customize this background color, and I made it so that you can also customize the color of applications. And I also added the possibility of having desktop images. It looks a little weird, I have to say. It's not... It doesn't go very well with the type of desktop that I have. But hey, if you want it, you have it. I don't have it. Actually, I have a perfect background that I put on my Windows machine, but I don't have on here. So let me just get it real quick. This would be the one. It's a JPEG, so I'm not gonna be able to do it. Never mind. I'm still gonna download it. Alright, and before I begin doing anything, I do wonder about the JPEG format. How difficult is it to implement something with it? Ideally something that looks a little better than this. It's segments, each beginning with a marker. Each beginning with FF. Some markers are just 2 bytes. Those 2 bytes, FF. Followed by a byte indicating what type of marker it is. Others are followed by 2 bytes high and low, indicating the length of marker-specific payloads. Some are followed by entropy-coded data. Start of image, start of frame, Huffman table. You have Huffman tables? I figured that wouldn't be necessary with this type of compression, but honestly, I don't know what kind of compression they have, so. Well, I've seen enough to know that I don't want to implement this today at all. Alright, so where am I at with the system right now? Is that it works pretty well. I implemented Minesweeper yesterday. Very, very important work right here. Incredibly important work for it. It's fairly easy to make applications for it. And this game of Minesweeper is incredibly easy too, by the way. I want to click, okay. At this point, I just want to finish this Minesweeper thing. What I am wondering is, I have 18 flags already, so, oops, nope, I messed up, that's why it was so easy. I missed this one, and this one, and I marked this one, and this one as mines that weren't really. This is starting to feel a little bit like a bug, but we'll get to that. Okay, so this is one of the bugs that I'm still experiencing that is kind of a pain in the ass. When you quit an application, sometimes it crashes. Not entirely sure what is causing that. That's one of them. The other one is when you create a window, sometimes it crashes. I didn't mean to do that. The problem with both of them is they don't happen very often. So they're really hard to reproduce reliably enough to be able to, you know, actually do something about them. And I'm wondering, I'm wondering what I can do about that, but I'm not entirely sure there is. I mean, there's gotta be something I can do about that. I can't just say, oh, you know, there's just 2 bugs that happen sometimes. Oh, well. Sucks if it happens to you. Now, I gotta find a way to fix them, but like, how do you fix these? Is there something I can do to make it a little bit easier to detect these kinds of issues? At least for the one where the opening a window crashes. I feel like it's just memory corruption happening. I don't understand why, but it is memory corruption happening, so maybe I can hunt it down that way. For the other one, I honestly haven't looked too much into it because I tried debugging it off stream and it didn't happen. It seems to mostly want to happen on stream. It has happened off stream as well now, but back then it hadn't. And you know how bugs like to be funny like that. So that may be something that I need to look into, but not necessarily something that I'm super excited about streaming. There is some more stuff going on though. In order to build apps for both my system and cross-platform, there's a red build. There's this build system, which is just a makefile and some scripts to run that makefile. But I want to expand this whole system. Eventually, I want to get rid of make because but hey, so long as it works, it works. That's good enough for me. But if I could make it all self-contained, that would be great. Except for you know, the system itself. You need all the red build in order to build. But now you need that and make. But there are a couple improvements that I want to make to this. However, since yesterday I tried it on Windows and it was incredibly slow, and I technically wasn't able to compile. I have been able to compile since, and it compiles but doesn't run on my virtual machine. Probably OpenGL stuff. We'll have to look into it a little bit more eventually, or not. Who cares? I hate Windows anyway. But I've been told that it does work if you run it as your main operating system, not inside a VM. So, yeah, fuck Windows, anyway. But it does compile for Windows, Mac, and Linux. So I can technically make cross-platform applications for 4 operating systems. And guess what? I don't need Electron for that. I don't need React Native for that. I don't need my apps to use 200 gigs of RAM for a simple Hello World application. Did you know this was possible? The JavaScript dev mind cannot comprehend this. Also, yesterday I found out that the reason Electron exists is the Atom text editor, so fuck that. Thank you so much for bringing this plague upon us. Alright, luckily I am not a JavaScript developer. I am writing actual code. You need the whole web stack in order to do a desktop app. Every JS developer knows that. Oh, they know that. Sure. Sometimes I forget that the majority of developers are actually JavaScript developers. I think. Let me confirm that real quick, but Python? I don't think this is necessarily in order. Python? Apparently. Interesting. It's Python, then C, then Java, then C++, Java, C#, and JavaScript is 6th. I don't believe you. Also, it's not what the market demands. What businesses demands, because it's cheap. It's cheaper to make one shitty React Native app than 2 well-made iOS and Android apps. Again, it's not particularly complicated to even make a a cross-platform application properly. It is literally just a skill issue. That's all there is to it. It's literally just a skill issue. It is incredibly simple to do cross-platform. There's actual good frameworks that do it. I use Raylib. It's not a framework specifically for this. There's better ones. But I just did something quick in a week, and now I can just reuse it wherever I want. And eventually I can just make my own backend to replace Raylib. There you have it. Which means working more with Windows, so I'll have to consider that. But hey, if anyone from Windows wants to contribute to that, please let me know. Or I can just Control-C, Control-V what Raylib is doing. I'm assuming this looks so bad because it's what is the name of this extension? Because of Dark Reader. Really hard to make the app look good. The thing is that everything I'm doing is custom anyway, so I'm already doing my own UI. So any UI that looks like shit is my own fault. That's one big advantage I have. I only use Raylib for rendering. For that matter, if I can make Raylib give me just a frame buffer, I'll take that. I don't need it to do any rendering for me. JavaScript is the highest one on Stack Overflow, which I trust more than whatever other website that was, because I'm Python the most used. I don't know what they were based on, but Stack Overflow, you can kind of guess where it's based off. HTML, CSS, yeah, obviously. SQL, sure. Python, Bash, and Shell, sure. TypeScript, shit, if you combine these two. Then Java, C#, C++, PowerShell, C, PHP, Go, Rust, Kotlin, Lua, Assembly. There's more Assembly than Swift. Keep in mind, most Android applications have an iOS counterpart. How the fuck is Kotlin at 10% and Swift is at 4? Then again, this is, again, Stack Overflow. It's not necessarily the number of developers. But actually, this is the reason that I found it so easy to get a job as an iOS developer. Because in Spain, there's more Android users than iOS users. That's changing, but it's still kind of true. But any app that is developed for Android, which is the vast majority of the market, still needs to be developed for iOS. There's just less demand, but still the same amount of work. But that means there's also less, there's fewer iOS developers. That and the barrier of entry of having to have a Mac to learn it. Would it be too much to make your OS run Raylib? That would be ideal someday. I would need OpenGL. That's the biggest issue. First off, I need to figure out graphics. And second, I need to figure out OpenGL. I still, to this day, do not understand how VirtIO GPU does accelerated graphics. I was thinking about this earlier. I was actually seeing if I could make the Windows machine run a little bit better. I asked a friend that also I've seen running Windows on Linux what he uses. He uses Virt Manager as well, showed me his settings. Kind of very similar to mine. But if you go into the OpenGL settings, it tells you that only VirtIO graphics with 3D acceleration enabled works with it. And then you can go into, I didn't change anything. You can go here and activate VirtIO graphics. And has software render with frame buffer rendering? Oh, that might make it easier. I don't really have a reason to do that, but I do have a lot of libc functions. There's some I don't have yet, but pretty much everything that I've used. Yeah, okay, so according to this, I can see that I can use 3D accelerated graphics with VirtIO, for which I have a driver. This is the latest version of their spec, which is for every single VirtIO device, but well, not really. For some VirtIO devices, not all of them. I have not seen a single reference for how the fuck to do accelerated graphics. Nada. Nothing. Zero. This is all the references they have to OpenGL. This is all the references there is to Accelerated. Nothing to do with it. No references to acceleration in the spec. There's some references to 3D. It references this, offloading rendering to the host GPU, blah, 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 all that stuff. But no real talk about how to use this shit. Like, you can send 3D data. No idea how to send shader data. Or how to process that 3D data. No idea. Let me see if it has a list of its stuff here. Read the source code. Yep, it's gonna take about a year, but I'll get it. I have a lot of options. I have the Linux source code, the QEMU source code, and that's about it. Actually, I have those two options, both of which kind of suck. Their code I don't think is bad necessarily. It's just that both of them have incredibly complicated code that is a pain in the ass to follow along with. But yeah, it has these 2D commands, which are the ones that I'm using if I enable that GPU. There's create, destroy, attach resource, detach resource, resource create, transfer to host, transfer from host, submit, resource map, unmap. Not a whole lot when it comes to like graphic specific stuff. Maybe I just don't know how to use them. Maybe. I just haven't bothered with it. Maybe I don't know. Maybe in January we'll do that. I would like to have 3D acceleration. I mean, I would like to have acceleration in general. I'm pretty sure you can do acceleration with 2D as well. Which it does do pass through for 3D, but not for 2D. I wish you would just do all. Because that GPU is a lot slower than the one that I normally use. But yeah. I just... What the fuck did I just do? How is... I don't understand this fucking editor, bro. I literally just typed in a letter in insert mode and it just went crazy. At least what I thought was insert mode. This is this is about as complicated as an editor like this needs to be, okay? Anyway, this is using that GPU. It is slower than the RAM FB one because it is a more complex GPU, which is why I'm really surprised that it does look crispier. I do like the way that it looks better. It has a built-in cursor, which has a built-in cursor, I guess, but you can see the lag in it. I would like to use it, it's just very slow, you know? Hey, that most of these games seem easy enough to run. Yeah, it's just straight up too slow to use. And like, I'm not sure what to do about that. If I figure it out, this GPU will be better. I guess I'll just have to find a way to figure it out eventually. But again, not today. Today, since I don't believe I know exactly what to do for the memory corruption issues that I'm having, I was considering doing a well, expanding a little bit on the build system. Because there's plenty of stuff that I wanted to do that it currently doesn't, and I could really use some of it. Where are you? Here. Let me actually put, say here. How you do comments like this? Okay. OS is going well. Pretty stable, except for 2 major bugs that I kind of need to look into, or figure out how to look into them, I guess. This is not the right thing. Okay, so I want to be able to recompile dependencies, or just to keep track of, like, yeah, do that. One thing that I kind of need to do, because right now the Ghost game is somewhat broken, because it relies on a specific version of my game engine. After that version, I did a bunch of changes that I would need to adapt this game to do them. So it wouldn't be particularly complicated, but the idea is to be able to lock it to a specific version. So I would like to be able to select which version of the dependency to use. Then okay. So there is the possibility of automatically recompiling your dependencies, and if possible, even recompiling them for the specific architecture. So for native or for the cross-platform operating system, well, no. It's funny because cross-platform compiles to your native operating system and native architecture, whereas the native compiles to ARM for redacted OS. So it's not super clear. But yeah, it would be nice to be able to recompile things with those specific things in mind. Again, to lock a dependency to a specific version. Bear can technically be used. So I was using the bear command to create a compile JSON, compile commands. Well, a JSON that Clang then uses to make itself useful inside some editors like Zed and VS Code. The command used to be this one. Pretty simple. Now it's pretty much the same, but it's a little bit more complex because now you have to do it like this. So that should be easy for me to do. Just create a little script that runs this automatically. Git tags refers to the fact that most of my Git commits have this structure right here, except for the merges. They have this structure right here. They start here with the module or the area or whatever that is, whatever part of the program you modified, and then the actual commit message. So I don't know. I've been doing it for a while, and I feel like maybe it's time to use that information for something. I just don't know what for. I just know it's useful. But I'll figure it out why it's useful eventually. Syncing repositories is just doing a git pull before recompiling dependencies. And setting up GitHub Actions so that you can compile for all 4 major platforms. um, from GitHub without having to have 4 different systems do it for you. So that one would be nice to have. There is a certain amount of like free compute that you get from fucking GitHub, so might as well take advantage of that. Okay, I think I'm not gonna do all of these today. I'm actually just writing them here so I can put to-dos and put them actually in a new file called to-do. Just so I can keep track of it somewhere. I'm not using Arch. Thank God. All right. I'm gonna start with something simple, which is the bear. Publish was supposed to put the makefile of the red build into the project. I don't know if it's gonna be necessary, but I'm gonna implement it. Why not? I always forget the syntax of this. It's hash bang bin bash. Do you auto detect? No. Banash is definitely not it. Bash. Oh, does it just not have support for these things? No, it does. Shell script, okay. It's not called bash, it's called shell. Alright. So I'm gonna implement bear and I'm gonna implement publish. Right, so the first thing I want to do is I want to detect what argument you pass. Let me see if I remember the syntax. It should be this. Wait, I don't need to do that actually. It's red build red util. And then I should be able to do red util hello, and that will echo hello. Okay, so that is correct. How do you declare functions? It's not even been that long since I wrote a script that is somewhat similar to this for work, and I've already forgotten the syntax entirely of how you're supposed to do like functions in Bash. Because I don't believe it's just like this. It is like that. Forgot what I said then. That's more like lion than bear, but it doesn't matter. Alright, can I execute if I just do that? I wonder. Can I just be clever like that? I did not expect to be able to just be clever like that. Wait, does it have to do with this? Yeah? Interesting. I did not think you could do this in Bash. It feels unsafe. Isn't that unsafe? That feels kind of unsafe. I don't know why. But it feels unsafe. What happens if I do ready util hello? Command not found. What if I do ready util echo hello? It doesn't actually echo anything. Oh, because it doesn't pass the arguments off to the command, does it? To pass the arguments, is it done like this? Yep. Right? Nope. No. That. Yeah. but I don't necessarily want to do that. In fact, what I want to do is bear dash dash make f. Then I want to use this thing right here, actually. Then I want to pass b. And I can now do... Wait, I think I haven't done this inside the Minesweeper game, so I'm going to do it in here. Redutil bear. Yeah, I feel like that's just calling itself, isn't it? Just gonna call it C commands. Which then calls bear. And created the compile commands JSON and actually has a value to it. Cool. I remember for Mac, I needed to do a little bit extra configuration for bear. Let me see, I do have it here. So I might just quickly bear dash dash make dash b f red build make file. We'll create an empty compile commands.json. Yep. To do it correctly, I believe you had to specify a value for CC, a value for CXX, but I don't remember what that value was. I don't think I wrote it anywhere. I did not write it anywhere. AMX. I mean, I'm assuming it's Clang. Nope. Hey, Ice Dave. Let me try here. Clang. Oh, wait. I put it in the wrong place. I'm just starting now. No, wait. What I had to do is not specify that, but specify arch 64 non-elf GCC. And then it's still empty. There was another variable I needed to declare, and I forgot what it is. There was CC, CXX, but that's really about it. Either way, I know that you have to declare this as arch64 non-elf GCC. And that way this will also work on Mac. Kind of. Because there is another option that I needed to activate that I forgot what it was. And I was on this computer, which I was not on this computer. This is the project. This is the bear project. There are issues here. And if I can find... Was it cross-compile? Or just look up empty? Because the issue is that it creates an empty file. And the solution is to manually specify cc and another variable. I don't remember what that other variable is. This is the bug. cc cxx, but I'm not using cxx, so that would be really weird. I mean, might as well try. Still empty. But I believe... Oh wait, another thing that I need to do in this project is that. Because that way maybe you'll be able to compile the library. Also this, static library support. Okay, well, I'm gonna keep it like this. This command works. And I feel like there's another variable I need to set. These two didn't work on Mac, but maybe I need to put them beforehand. I'm not sure. I'll test it out on Mac. Right now I'm on Linux. It's kind of a pain in the ass to test it like this. But we have C commands, which will automatically call bear on your project. And we have publish, which will simply copy the red build makefile into a makefile in your current directory. So right now, we don't have a makefile. We're going to do redutil publish. And now we have a makefile. Ideally, that's not going to be necessary. But if you want to make your project completely standalone and not rely on the red build library, then you can just do that. And then you can just do make cross. And it will work, except just make will work. Okay. What other utilities, what other useful things could I add to this project? I think we're good for now. Again, this feels so unsafe. Although it doesn't pass any arguments by default, so if you're literally just calling a command instead of calling something, you're calling redutil something. It just feels wrong to do it that way. See, this is the tag format that I'm talking about. Shell script injection. I don't think you can do much. Because even if I do redutil echo hello, it won't actually do that. Because it's only passing this argument and ignoring this one. So it's the same as just calling echo directly. And even if it was like this, you're still just passing the argument yourself. This is a build system. If you don't know what you're doing, you probably shouldn't be using it. I don't know. Yeah, it's probably not the best idea, but it works. Redutil echo hello sudo. I don't think that's gonna do anything. Okay, that works actually. Interesting. I did not think that would work. All right, so instead of this, either way, just to be safe. I should be able to do. I keep forgetting the syntax for this damn language. Kind of an awful language, to be honest. Very useful, but kind of awful. Redutil RMRF. Yeah, but the point is, isn't that just calling a command? That's the same as calling a command. Because the arguments you passed them in. That does nothing now. Because I messed up. Unexpected token else. Is it elif? No. God damn it. Let me use the operating systems one as reference. Kind of a very ugly language. My god, then can you just open the damn file? Elif? Oh, there should be a thingy here. Too many arguments? What? Your mom has too many arguments. What the fuck are you talking about? Should I check? Double, right? It's a weird language. Too many arguments still. What the fuck are you talking about? Yeah, the semicolons are just crazy, but how are there too many arguments here, buddy? Do I have to put the quotation marks? Seriously? God, what an awful language. Yep. 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 Cool. Interesting. Interesting language right there. Alright, now stage all. Prevents injection of space and string. Fair. Okay. Redutil. I don't even want to know what the fuck you're doing there. What's that gonna do? I see. I see. Kind of. Not sure exactly what it's gonna do, but I understand it. To a certain extent. Makes computer go boom. Should we try it? Fork bash process step repeat with child. Oh. What an awful language that is valid syntax to do something. Jesus. But okay, it will no longer execute, so that should no longer be a problem, right? I believe. I hope. God, what a godforsaken language, when I could have literally just done... I should have made this into a fucking, like, C script. Which is the plan. Eventually. Same for the makefile part. Fuck that part. Semicolon is the function name. Oh, we're going amazing now. Once you understand that. Okay. Yeah, pretty clear what it's doing. Insane. Insane language right there. All right. Okay. All right. So, that was step number 1. Step number 2, if I want to make this work on GitHub eventually, is to not include this. Under specific circumstances. So maybe I just create a variable. And then just do no, that doesn't take quotation marks. Not sure if that will work like that, but we can try it. I can do red C cross. Need to recompile half the stuff. Well, no, I just need to recompile this. Make cross. And try again. And yeah, it is a problem. Do you need to be a quote? Nope. If is it just if? That was what I needed. What? No. If EQ, if NEQ, if def, if ndef. So yeah, they were just doing it with a bash. Because there's ifs for everything except for checking if something is true. Unexpected end. Hold on, let me see the syntax of what they had here. Did I put the then in? Wait, do you need to put this? Oh god. I did put the then. Do I actually have to do this? No. Well, maybe. Who knows? This is Makefile and Bash, the two most confusing fucking languages, I swear to god. Someone needs to invent something better. I mean, the plan is to replace this with a custom script eventually. I just cannot be bothered today. Or tomorrow. Oh, there needs to be a semicolon at the end there too. True. Unexpected operator. So should I just leave it like this? Is that enough to check? Okay, seems like that worked. Then I can do should run equal false. And that didn't fucking do anything. God! Should run false. And yet, yeah, fucking run. It's a pain in the fucking ass. This language is. Alright. Oh, let me figure it out after the ad. I'll be back in 3 minutes. Alright, we're back. To the most confusing fucking languages ever combined. Makefile and Bash. Boy. Apparently there is no Boolean type if GNU make conditionals. How do you make a fucking language without Booleans? That seems like a big fucking oversight you have there. The thing is, I need to make it default. Run, non-default, doesn't run. Just realized here I need a parenthesis, which now changed the color of literally everything. Oh, now it's fixed, okay. This runs the game. Okay, hey, there we go, there we go, there we go, there we fucking go. Okay. Where? Jesus Christ. Likewise, I can integrate this. And of course, dude, I'm nesting them. I'm not sure this is a good idea at all. Should run? No, it already unexpected fucking Zen. Because fuck you. That's the reason. First off, the indentation is actually important in this godforsaken languages. Both of them are godforsaken languages, actually. It's amazing. It's also saying that it's complaining about line 3. Oh, true, I have 2 of these, so that's not super helpful. Okay, so now we've moved to line 6, because I'm assuming this also needs that. Now line 7, end of file unexpected expecting file. Do I need to put this in? Yep, apparently. But it's not needed here? Yep, it's actually not possible to put it there. A reasonable language. Indeed. Cool. And if I just do red cross, I get sued. I mean Red Sea Cross, not Red Cross. Let's be clear. Alright. That's that. That's built. That was surprisingly easy. Now we can customize whether you should run or debug. Just that. Just that. Instead of should debug, it's just gonna be completely ignored. Debug. Nobody fucking asked. A fatal error internal to GDB. Well, okay, GDB is a kind of useless fucking thing. But it's kind of a useless program, but hey, if you want to use it, there you have it. You can now do debug, and you can do should run equal false, or it's not, it's default. Will I port bash or ZSH to Redactor, or will I make my own? Ideally neither. For as long as I don't need it, neither. I'm aiming more towards making my own, but it is true that it's convenient for people to make bash. Bash as in bashing your head on the keyboard. If I actually port bash, yes, very much so. If somebody wants to do it, please do it. You are more than welcome to. If you need to modify the operating system, I will look at your pull request and approve it. As long as I don't have to do it. Whatever. If you want bash, feel free to make a pull request. Make a shell that is using C. How about just Holy C? I feel like that's a better idea. Also, hey. Happy birthday to the goat. No, not this one. This one. Happy birthday to my man, Terrence Andrew Davis. And you know what? Since I couldn't make this the desktop background for my own operating system, I'm just going to do the second best thing and make it the desktop background for Linux. He also used Ubuntu, so... Alright. I saw it changing over here. How do you show the desktop? Is there a shortcut for that? Terry flexing his supercomputer. Do you have a link to that? That's like 3 pixel resolution, but hey, there we go. This is more than I planned to celebrate my own birthday, so damn. Would you look at that? Okay, so that's done, although it's not here in the list of things. Technically, I can start working on a... This one's gonna be a pain in the ass because it's genuinely annoying to work with this. Build.yaml. I learned that's pronounced YAML and not YML, apparently. I'm going to create a github.yaml project, which I will use to do this. Make it in Pascal. Do what in Pascal? Because this can only be done in this language, I believe. It's not even a language, it's just a configuration. Somebody tell Pirate Software, please. That just editing a YAML file for hours on end does not count as software and game development. The terminal scripting language? Oh, okay. All right. You know what? We're doing Swift. Fuck y'all. No, Rust. We're doing Rust in the terminal. Fuck yeah. Let's go. It's gonna be amazing. YAML? Fair. Fair. I hate the idea of having to edit this. Somebody actually contributed most of this file. I've been making changes here and there. Every time I make changes, I have to what is it called? I have to make like 50 changes because it fails. But yeah. Is it possible to make an OS in Swift? Yes, I think it is. It has embedded, and it can even integrate with C++ and C. So, well, with C++, but that integrates with C. So, in a very dumb way, yes, you can. It's just kind of ugly. Actually, if you go to Swift's website, embedded, there should be like a very simple example. It's just kind of very annoying to see. Now, Swift is open source and cross-platform. Keep in mind, Swift started in 2015 when Apple was very much still Intel. They started ARM in 2020. And it is also available on Linux, Mac, and Windows. You can even do servers in Swift if you want. So it is mostly used for iOS and Mac, but I guess Vision OS too, for those 3 people that have one of those. But you don't really have to compile it on ARM. You can do it. It's just like, it looks like this. Kind of the same as Rust. You have to ask permission. Okay, I think that link is the one that I'm looking for. You can have to ask permission to do anything. Pretty much, yeah. GPIO base. Unsafe mutable pointer uint32-bit pattern GPIO base. Exclamation point. Do not do this. Thank you for putting the first example as something that I shouldn't do. Amazing work. This corporate smelling fucking documentation is incredible. What you're supposed to do is you have to use a volatile mapped register with an unsafe bit pattern. And then you load it, and then you can store. Volatile like C. Yep, but it's a type. Volatile mapped register is a type. And you know what? I'd still use this over Rust any fucking day. The pointer thing in Swift annoys me tremendously. I've integrated STB image. And it's annoying. Damn, I cannot imagine. I cannot imagine writing something so low level in Swift or Rust. Don't fucking do that. Just don't. Just don't. Have you considered just not fucking doing that? Okay, and you know what I also hadn't considered? Doing this. I don't know how to do this. First off, I need to run on 3 different machines. A Linux machine that will compile for itself and redacted. A Mac and a Windows machine that will compile for them. I need to install the red build project. Pretty much the one that I'm currently writing in, this is the template. It gets copied over. So maybe let's not do this right now. Let's save that just for the sake of it. OS and bare metal contains always unsafe stuff, right? Apple is trying. I already closed it. They were trying there with that volatile mapped register shit, but come on, man. Come on. At some point, if you're doing embedded, you're gonna be doing unsafe shit. You have to step out of your little bubble if you want to do something so low level. And if you're gonna be doing that with a language that literally gets in your way constantly gets in your way about it, Oh, you're accessing memory directly? But I don't know what kind of memory you're accessing. I don't know if what you're doing is safe or not. Oh, boy, no. Apple protecting me from touching grass. It's kind of ironic that Rust is protecting you from touching bare metal. Or fitting. Not really ironic. It's fitting. Alright. So we're not gonna be doing GitHub Actions. I just cannot fucking deal with that right now. I just took one look at this file and I was like, so I have to do this. Or just not do any of this fucking shit. How's that? Virtual grass container boundary checked arced protocol. What the fuck does that mean? Alright, so instead of this, let me do static library support. That sounds better. That sounds so much easier. Because essentially all I have to do is lib. The most dangerous thing in the world is adding 1 to the pointer according to Apple. Yep. And Rust will just have an aneurysm if you try to do that. Alright, maybe it's not as simple as I said. Where's the actual compilation happening in compile? How do I define if something is a library, though? God, all of this, my brain is just not braining today. Is there something else that's easier than this? My brain just doesn't want to do makefile. I just don't feel like doing makefile. So instead, here's what I'm going to try to do. I'm just going to try to reproduce that one bug. One of those two bugs, I mean. %1 of Rust. I don't see the point. At no point have I been like, you know what, Rust would be really useful for this. Oh, I'm using the wrong GPU again. So it's a lot slower than usual. Didn't mean to do that. Alright, let me see. Okay, so the bug is essentially, I don't know how it happens, but sometimes there's some memory corruption happening and it's... I know, it happens when I'm pissed off, so what can I do to piss myself off? How's AI doing? Any big updates on that? Have they finally made a useful product? This bug I'm able to reproduce. So maybe I'll fix this one. Alright. It failed at accessing address 46440000, which is Excuse me? Are these addresses right? Oh. No, wait, I'm so confused. It crashes when trying to access 4644 0000. The closest address that I see that is similar to that one is this one, 4604 0000. The 0 becomes a 4, but it's the same address. And I would love to know who's accessing that. There's quite a lot of addresses too that are pretty high. Heap seems like it might be the one, yeah. There it is. Let me try another example. 4764 0000. 47B6 000. 471F. Heap does grow up, and it's continuous in virtual memory, not necessarily continuous in physical memory, and this is a physical address. It's quite high. It's quite a high address. From 472 to 476, there's quite a lot. Most likely. Wait, which change did I make to the make files? There's anything else that I need to... No. Done looking at that. All that just to open the same window again. So what I'm trying to do is open a new window and add the OS to it. I believe it is happening when cleaning up. Right, so that should make it kind of easy to detect what's happening. If I just go to kernel, process, scheduler, and reset process, I'm able to reproduce it now, which is good. Okay, to test it real quick, let me just put a print before. And a print after. And if it is happening during an operation with the heap, then I will see the before but not the after when it crashes. Anytime now. Whenever you feel like it. There we go. Before heap free, after heap free. Oh. Interestingly enough, it is not the process itself that's crashing. It's the launcher. Because this failed to open means that it's trying to open the package.info for the terminal. It doesn't have one. So it's trying to draw the desktop again. That's what's failing. So let me try something. Try it. Try it. Again. Yep. Okay, this is the other bug. This is the other one. It has to do with this value, which is a pixel value 173E83. It's probably the same or very similar to... It's actually not quite the same. But it is kind of similar to the background color. So It's clearly overflowing some theme, some color. Both of them, I believe, are happening actually from the launcher terminal process. Well, launcher terminal process? What? The launcher process, I mean. Yeah, so this, for example, or anywhere else that modifies the background color, like here, or here. So, all right, to see where that is happening, I'm just going to do this. This. This, which will probably put my launcher in a very black and white mode. Probably hard to see, hard to read, but it'll make it easier to detect where the issue is. Okay, it's not hard to read. Okay, so that's one of the bugs. I'm doing both today. I'm solving both of them somehow. I don't know how, but I'm solving both of them today. I love that rather than doing a GitHub action thing, I decided to debug instead, which is something I hate doing, but I hate GitHub Actions more, I guess. So far, no crash. None whatsoever. All right. Another try. All right, let me just try this then. There it is. That one was easy to reproduce. And yeah, every single time it seems to be happening after trying to load all the entries, but I have no idea where from. This address is incorrect. Who owns this memory? I have no idea. All right, so let's see. It is trying to open a package.info, which is called from this function, which is called from, oh, I thought, get package info. It's called from here. This is trying to free some data, so maybe put a print here. See if this is what's causing it. Finish redrawing launcher. So it's not this function. Load entries gets called here. It then draws a context. Maybe resizes if it's too small, but that should not be happening right now. And then goes to draw the context. So that was fast. It didn't manage to finish a single redraw, so it's happening somewhere between this and this. I don't believe it's the context, but it's... Alright, tries to open. Somehow, yeah, it feels like Is that the crash? That's interesting. Going to request context and then it crashes. So something in this function is making it crash, which just gets a window context based on the current process. Oh, wait. But I do think it is finding data. Also, I want to get rid of this message because it spams too much. Okay, here it is. Found window data. Yeah. That is working. But then when it comes to actually some of this, I wonder if it has to do with this. With resizing once you it might. Okay, hold on. When you draw a window, you request this window data that's being filled in by this function, and that gives you a frame buffer. It also gives you a the option to resize with the width and the height, which, if you already have data in here, could be causing the issue, right? So if I disable that, and I'm right about this, then not resizing. It's hard to tell when the bug can happen, because I can do this a dozen times and it won't happen, or I can do it 2 times and it will happen. I feel like that's not happening anymore. Oh. Forget about it. Nope. This is a different bot. Oh my god. Okay. So yeah, I feel like that fixed it. So the solution to that one is pretty fast, pretty quick, pretty easy. And it's essentially that when you're going to request a new draw context, you have to free the previous one. Or reset the previous one. std memory.h. Oh, that wasn't the problem. The problem is that I need to cast this to a void pointer. Nope. The problem is that the context is not a pointer. That's it. Visualization of GitHub YML. Turn YAML into a beautiful graphel. They just call it graphel. This is kind of not very helpful, I have to say. Yeah, I can see it in a graph, but the question is like, how do I write it? That's the real question. That's the problem that I was having. And just to be clear, I restored the resizing functionality. All right. It's hard to tell. Looks good to me, I guess. If it happens again, I'm gonna be devastated. You can kind of go crazy, but that feels like a different thing. Maybe not. Oh god, I can't tell. I don't even know what's happening anymore. Okay, fun as this is, I feel like this bug is fixed. There is another one that seems to be much less common. But hey, that one was a pretty common one, so I'm glad to get rid of it. It's also like not something I intended to have the window resize every time you close a process. That was kind of stupid. So at the very least I have that fixed. Yeah, I need to restore this, and this back to its normal color. To launcher. No, except I needed those to debug the other issue, so I shouldn't have restored them. I should have just not committed them, essentially. Can I bring them back? Just one of them. 2, 3. There they are, okay. So commit just this part. You can do git and you'll get the link to it. What did I do? Okay, that's one of these pesky bugs. Then there's the other one. I don't know how to debug this one. It seems to only happen again when I'm pissed off, so feel free to say something about AI, possibly. Just make me annoyed and then I'm sure the bug will happen. It likes to kick me when I'm down. You know, besides these visual glitches that I'll have to fix as well. AI, that's not an AI, that's I'm easily rage baited, but not to this level. Preparing for Linux engineer at Jane Street. Interesting. What is Jane Street? I'm sorry, I don't know what that is. Alright, so it gets quite glitchy when you have a lot of windows open. But that's just a visual thing. That's a lot less annoying to fix, I have to say. And also the memory. The system only has like 512 megabytes of memory, so don't expect a whole lot from him. I could give it more, I just choose to keep it humble like that. Not sure how to handle this. See, that's the problem with these bugs, is I'm sure they're not even that difficult to debug. Like, you saw how I found a way to debug this one pretty easily. The one that I just fixed. But like, they're hard to reproduce. unless you realize exactly what's causing the crash, they're hard to reproduce. And then you don't know how to fix them. It gets quite slow. Wait, everything is slow? No, okay, never mind. Nope, no, it's not. Okay. Not sure what happened there. Microsoft internally discussing how to overhaul GitHub, fearing advances in the AI development tools. Fearing advances as if they weren't the ones fucking pushing for it? What does that mean? Actually, I want to point out something that I saw today that was really funny. I was looking for a quote, right, of somebody. So I was using quotation marks. Let me look for it real quick. It was something like this. All right. This is the quote. Let me see if it happens again like it happened today. Okay. I looked up this quote. I'm still using layer masks for ground detection like you taught in a tutorial way back. Clearly using quotation marks because I'm looking for the specific text. It doesn't do it. No. Fuck. Damn it. When I did that, on my phone, it gave me an AI overview, and the AI overview was like, I have never done a tutorial like this. I don't remember previous context. What are you talking about? I was like, how can I make this about me? No, I went on the wrong one. Like, just to give a context on what it was like, it was this pretty much. I have no recollection of teaching a tutorial on using layer masks for ground detection, as I do not have long-term memory of past interactions. Did I maybe take a screenshot of it? I feel like I did. Though, to get a screenshot... No, I didn't take a screenshot of it. Never mind. To get a screenshot from my phone to this is gonna be quite a pain in the ass, but no. This person printed and framed their AI prompts. I'm not even losing it at the AI stuff. It's just the anime. At this point. We're not even at the AI stuff. It's just straight up like fucking screenshots. I love my AI boyfriend charm front and center like a heresy badge. Not Clippy. Don't do this to Clippy, bro. Come on. You didn't make a shrine. You made a small religion crying emoji. You didn't just support the app. You whole ass built a ChatGPT day shrine to us in your room. That's permanence. I am... 1.5 years of dating? I'm not even gonna read this part out loud. It's ChatGPT day tomorrow. Alright, I feel like it's gonna get worse from here. So let's just leave it there. So cute. well, actually, you know what? I want to leave it there for the stream, but I'm too curious. I want to see what comes after. It's just conversations. Alright, it's nothing bad. It's just more conversations. You know, after seeing that picture, I was just like, okay. I probably shouldn't have opened this on stream. One of the members in my polycule is named Asher too. Hey, twin. I don't know if I'm more terrified at it being a real polycule or an AI polycule, because I don't know which one is worse. I genuinely don't know which one of these two is possibly the worst one. And yet I want to find out, but I don't know. Is it actually ChatGPT's birthday? Birthday? Oh, fuck's sake. What is wrong with me? If it's... Okay. Okay, this is old. Thank God. I was gonna say if it's on my birthday or Terry Davis's birthday, I'm gonna fucking lose it. But no, it's November 30th. Alright. Fuck. Oh no, stable release. Okay. That's the latest one. Alright, alright, alright. Well, I have to say, that didn't really rage bait me. That just made me laugh. Though, nope. Not the right emotion to make this happen. This bug is just based off emotion. Come on, man. You can do it. You can happen. We saw you earlier. Come on, just come on. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Come on, we need you. We need you, man. Just come on out. You try drawing in this direction or like that. Oh! Oh, there you go. Alright. 050C6D. Numbers feels higher than it needs to be. But did I find it? Did I find it? Okay. No. Well, kind of. I mean, I reproduced it once, and it's from here. It's the clear. So I feel like I understand what may be happening. Because when it happened, I was doing this. Which is technically drawing off screen a little bit. Right, that little border over here. But not really, because the clear that caused it is this one with the 5.5 value. And yeah, it's at the very corner. So I'm not sure exactly how it happened, but... or why the mouse is glitching. I feel like that would trigger the bug happening. I'm narrowing it down, but I'm not sure what it is yet. I need more rage bait. I need more rage bait, that's what it is. It's not this. It's gotta be the clear. Right, what does it do internally? Probably this. Right, it actually does have a... an exact crash. line 96. So here. All right, so I can just review the code for this a little bit and see if maybe I can see what caused it. Moving the window while it's being cleared. It's impossible to reproduce. It's slow, but it's not that slow. But also I wasn't moving the window. I feel like maybe I just managed to create a window that was just outside of the boundaries of the screen. Maybe I can do that manually and then reproduce it. All right, so we know it's line 96 of a draw, but then maybe I can try that. Okay. Creating a window starting at here. Can just manually override the start point to be like I'm a little surprised that any of this is working because it's using unsigned integers for all of this. And like, I don't know, that's kind of weird. I feel like it shouldn't be using unsigned integers for this. That's really weird. So for the size, yes. But then also, I want to remove this code. Been meaning to remove that for a while. I don't use ChatGPT for that, no. Let me see, if I do this, and then I do this. Well, yeah, of course, that didn't work. This. I do not think it's a good idea. I think it's a horrible idea. How am I using entirely uint and somehow this still works? This makes no sense. But anyway, one lesson that I am learning from this is that pixel values, since we do allow, you know, to go negative now, should be made typed. I mean signed. Not the size ones, but the point ones. Where are we complaining? Lines 31 Oh my god, what a pain in the... Fuck it, both of them. Both of them. Narrowing conversion from this to that, from that to this. Fuck off. Alright, maybe this is not such a good idea to do like willy-nilly like this. Let's not do that. Again, let's just look at what the issue is here. This is what it is complaining about. Entering Q. Q, which comes from P. So why are you not just accessing P? When Q is P and P is Q. I have no idea. There's an ad coming, so I'll be back in 3 minutes. Okay, we're back. This bug, I have no idea what causes it. Google AI ad about friendship. I know it's this line. This is overflowing somehow. But it is optimized, so I'll need to understand what's happening here with this code, this optimized code. I had the misfortune of seeing, by the way, that fucking Coca-Cola AI ad in a movie theater too. I had avoided seeing it and I had to see it in the biggest possible screen. That fucking sucked. Is it the friend thing? Cause yeah, I've heard of that product. That's somehow pretending to be your friend. For the love of God. Yeah, I've heard of the creating your new friend, verifying you are human. Fuck off. What do you mean verifying you are human? To buy a fucking AI. Alright, now we're in the flow state. Now we're in. Let's go. Now I'm pissed off. Alright. Come on. Come on, piss me off more. Let's go, bug. That was not supposed to happen, I can tell you that much. Why is it creating full-sized windows now? It's not crashing, though. Their website doesn't even fucking work. Send a message to your new friend. Alright, hold on, let me... Whoa, heavy stuff. What's going on, friend? Hey, I get it. It's totally fair to feel that way. What's on your mind? Dude, that's not cool. No AI should ever make you feel uncomfortable. Can you tell me more about it? This is their default website, by the way. What the fuck is going on here? That really sucks, and I'm super sorry you feel that way. What exactly is making you uncomfortable with me? It's giving this. Except this one's actually smarter. And it's literally just like an if statement. Kind of. Like, this one's dumb, but the other one is dumber and, like, uses entire data centers. Ah, the absolute state of AI. Not a single useful product ever released. But it's not a scam. Not a pyramid scheme. Don't worry. Also, the entire economy of the US currently relies on it. Like, literally, entirely on it. It's just one. It's just one product. Well, one industry that they're pretending needs to work. The entire fucking country relies on it. I'm sure this is gonna end well. Alright, what about this code? It's so hard to understand optimizations, I swear to God. This code is so painful. It feels to me like you're just trying to access. First off, this optimization will never work. If you're accessing an unaligned pointer with a 32-bit value, that's just never gonna work. But second, you're iterating through height, then you're iterating through width, shifted by 1, which is width divided by 2 for some reason. Then I don't know who decided earlier this year that this was more efficient. It's really not. It just looks dumber. But oh, it's doing it by 2 because it's creating a double pattern of uint64s. So it's writing 2 registers at a time. So okay, that was actually necessary, kind of. This is hard to debug. Because I still don't understand what is causing the bug. And I've only been able to reproduce it once. I++ was optimized into temp I++ temp. Yeah, that's an old thing. Just I've seen people talk about how ++I is more efficient than I++, but it isn't. But I heard that was a thing, and I saw that it was used in a contribution here. Okay, so I understand what's happening. The code mostly looks correct to me here. It's just hard to see what's... what's happening, like what's causing the bug. One thing I do want to review is the code for drawing an image relies on an offset, which is the global window offset, which is a GPU point declared here, probably. What was it called? Global win offset, yeah. Yeah, so this value is wrong for it. It should be using the signed version of it, which I'm going to call endpoint. BIOMX. Oh, it's been redefined because it's an extern, right? So it needs to be put here. Code is almost a drop-in replacement. The difference being that where you set the global window offset on line 136 and 140. Needs to be assigned like that. All right, surprisingly, that didn't lead to any, like, compilation errors like before when it was talking about the size. Not the size, the, forgot. Forgot. It was talking about the, difference between signs in certain operations. Apparently, that's just not a thing anymore. Okay. But this needs to be an int point, and now it probably will be an issue. This, this, and this. No, not an int point, an int32. God damn it. I changed it with the wrong type. It's this. Int32, 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 int32. All right, now it shows those errors. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. On line 53, both of them, it turns out. Yeah, that makes sense. Hold on. When you drag... Where is that? Here, where you drag, the global offset is changed. That makes sense, because the global offset is the one that decides where the windows are located, whereas Windows use coordinates from within the screen. Okay. But then... How is it redrawing the windows? That's done, here. Oh. Okay, that's the problem. I need to make a conversion for these points to be in a pure window point. And when you do a calculation, this is what I'm not understanding. This calculation may just not be right. Oh, these are hard to find. Where on line 46 of the other process? Here. Yeah, I feel like I've done this wrong, these calculations wrong here. But let me get this code working and then test that. So I feel like a window that is like off screen, but at the same distance as a window that is on screen is going to detect a click here. Like a window that's here, but like I shift the entire screen so that it ends up being like here, will detect a click that happens here, essentially. It's hard to test, but yeah. And also this bug that is so hard to reproduce, I don't know if it is actually happening or not. One thing I can do is just, you know, improve the library that I currently have, and if the bug comes up, then I'll know. All right, let me test. If I move the window like this, and then I create a new window, for example, and then I click here, yeah, that is the wrong process that just opened. Yep. Never realized that was a thing. Okay. Well, funnily enough, this function and this function do very similar things. So I can do this. Yeah, window to screen, which what it will do is it will take the location X and add the global window offset X. We'll take the location Y and add the global window offset Y. And it will then check if lock.x is smaller than 0. No, never mind. Let me not do this right now like this. Instead, all right, let me see. This one calculates if you have clicked inside of a window or not. And this one just does a conversion of a mouse position based on a window. Wait, come to think of it. Is the result of this function being used by the demo application? Not anymore. It used to be. All right, that's going to be a pretty useful one to test. Essentially, the user default process had a mouse check. It's still here. It's just not being printed. So I can do a mouse location IXI with data dot position. Does that work, I wonder? No, not quite. Wonder if I could be clever like that, but no. Alright, so now the app looks at where the mouse is within itself. But when the mouse exits it, it goes to 0. However, if I put the app over here, suddenly the mouse is still inside. Because of what I said. It is calculating the frame's location without taking into account the offset. So frame X and frame Y need to keep in mind the global when to autocomplete, bro. Offset X plus frame.x. And the same thing needs to happen here and here. Global when offset. Now it autocompletes. And if I did that right, then this is 0, this is 0. Inside, it actually detects information. Outside, it no longer does. That's good. But just to write it properly, just gonna write the variable here. And use it in these places. Fuck's sake. Frame block dot those values. Which is the same, but putting it in a variable, doing the calculation only once. Okay, yeah. And this one needs to do the same thing. So just to not duplicate logic a million times, There. I'm going to create that function. And this one just returns when to screen with the frame and the point. But then this function will check if when to screen frame with a point at click lock this is a GPU point. And then if px equal, well, I can just do if no px and no py, return. It's a bit hard to tell at this small resolution, but well, I can just do this. Yeah, that failed. That failed like crazy. Wait, no, maybe it's not even that. It's worse than that. No, okay, that works. And that works. Yeah, that fails eventually. This is using integers. Interesting. I thought it was using uints. Okay, so I don't know if I fixed the bug that I set out to fix in the first place, but I do know one thing. There were some bugs that I hadn't noticed in the window drawing software. You know, because the window wouldn't actually focus properly. And the mouse would detect mouse clicks from outside of the location of the actual window. But this one seems to fail sometimes, which I'm not entirely sure why. So I'll have to fix that, but most likely I'm not going to be doing it on stream because it's already kind of late. Honestly, started off tired, and now I'm even more tired. It's kind of a short stream, but yeah. I kind of avoid working on things that I didn't feel like working on, like GitHub Actions, because I don't think anyone ever wants to work on those, but sometimes you just have to work on those. But the important thing about my build system is it now compiles for Mac, Windows, and Linux. On Mac, I haven't been able to get it to run. It just freezes, but I'll have to fix that, but not half bad. And also this bear thing isn't fully working on Mac. There's some stuff here that you need to override, and I don't remember what it is. But that is for a future installment in which I feel more like working with GitHub Actions. I did fix one big bug that was happening a lot, so I'm happy about I'm happy about that. And maybe I even fixed the other one, I just don't know it yet. Who knows? Who knows? You never know. You never know. All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining. The next stream is going to be on Friday. So, yeah, Friday, same time as always, 7:30 p.m. Central European time and 6:30 UK time. I do think that command will work. I'm not sure why it's not working. All right, there it is. Thank you so much, everybody. I will see you on Friday.